What advice would you give to young women in Texas right now? Yes, hormonal IUD can last from 3-7 years. Copper IUD can last for 10 years. My sil was refused a hysterectomy due to her intense periods. Not like a heavy flow period. Like I can only work part-time because my period and other issues make me immobile for days at a time type of stuff. She had a variety of issues with her lady parts. She was refused by 2 different doctors because she doesn't know what she wants. She was 28. The doctor that finally gave her a hysterectomy to end years worth of agony and suffering made her undergo a psych evaluation and counseling before she could get it done. We're talking about a procedure that would prevent her from being in unspeakable pain for the next 20-30 years. When are we going to stop treating women like incubators and start treating them like humans? This happened to me, except it was a normal pregnancy. My IUD somehow slipped halfway out after working fine for 2 years. I didn't realize I was pregnant until about 3 weeks, and then it took another 2 weeks to get pregnancy tests done, set up a screening appointment, take out the IUD, and then go through with the abortion, which took 2 visits, because TX. I was at 5.5 weeks when I finally aborted. Scary to think how easily I could have missed that window if I didn't have time to get all those appointments in within a single week. Which I could only do because I work super flexible hours from home. I feel like the only way to be safe now is to just take pregnancy tests every week. IDK. Damn, that reminds me of one of my college classmates. She got accidentally pregnant when we were in college and had discussed getting her tubes tied after her second kid, but when the time came, her doctor decided that he wouldn't do it because she was too young, even though she explicitly told him she does not want to have any more kids, especially in her economic situation, which hasn't changed in the last decade. In conclusion, women need to be allowed to make their own decisions about their own body. If you are sexually active, indeed, IUDs are the most effective prevention method, with over 99% prevention rate. I had an IUD for 7 years, Mirena for 5, another Mirena for 2, now trying to get pregnant. Made my 20s so much safer and more secure for me. I would also advise young women Texans to pursue this option if they are looking to prevent pregnancy while sexually active. I'd also include a PS, it doesn't protect against STIs, and you should always have an annual checkup with your gyno that includes an STI panel and a pap smear. From sex educator Allison Moon on Twitter, @HaylaMoon, emergency contraception is available OTC or online, and there's no age limit in the US. Can be taken up to 5 days after sex. Keep it on hand and let your friends know you have it. You can keep it in the fridge. The shelf life for EC is a few years. Ada, saw lots of people bringing up that BMI reduces how effective EC is. Here's what I replied from one such response that may be helpful. There are other options for people with higher BMIs. Just from a quick Google I found that Ella is good for EC regardless of BMI, and though it is prescription only, you can get it prescribed through a site and pick it up at your local pharmacy. HelloWisp.com was the site I saw. Edit. Sorry this got long. TLDR, my high school friend took EC and still ended up with a baby. EC isn't as effective as correctly used hormonal BC, so use with caution. I was back in my hometown one weekend from college. Went to Target one morning, 9 a.m.-ish, and happened to see a girl I was friends with in high school. I hadn't seen her in a year or two since she was a year ahead, so I excitedly ran up like, "Hi. Oh gosh, good to see you." Not noticing she's on the verge of tears in the tampon aisle. She immediately broke down crying hysterically. The store was pretty empty, so I sat her on that blood pressure checker thing and got her a bottle of water. We got her calmed down a bit and she started telling me that she made a mistake. She had been at a party the night before with a mutual acquaintance. One thing led to another and they had sex. Apparently it was her first time and she had been too drunk, too shy to stop and ask about condoms. She was in the store looking for the morning after pill but couldn't find it. I told her it was behind the counter, we'd have to ask a pharmacist for it. She started bawling again. So I went up and bought it. We checked out the rest of the stuff I was buying, including the already opened water, and went across the street to a coffee shop. I stayed with her and read her the instructions and what to expect for side effects. After we finished our drinks, we went out separate ways. I was never close enough with her to be on texting terms, so other than a "Hey, you doing okay?" and resulting yep that night, I never really talked with her again. At the time I lacked awareness of how to actually reach out to people since my family isn't like that, so I used to come off as cold. Honestly, can't blame her for not wanting to open up to me out of nowhere. Also, my sister used to date her brother and they ended on bad terms, so I was probably not the first person she'd want to talk to about stuff. Anyway, imagine my surprise when roughly 9 months later she has a baby and posts about it on FB, even though none of our friend group even knew she was pregnant. Like, even people who saw her regularly didn't know. They just thought she was gaining weight. Once she had the baby though, she was really great about it. Super open and honest, and posts regularly about the open adoption she did. But to this day, I am completely floored that the baby happened. I was with her when she took that pill less than 12 hours after sex. And yet, baby. Refuse sex if the other person doesn't want to use protection. It was only a couple years ago I was very stupid with an ex and risked pregnancy while in college. I wouldn't have been able to finish had I gotten pregnant. Also, see what your school offers for birth control. In my university, women had to take an exam to make sure the appropriate birth control was given. Use 2 forms of birth control. If you have a reason to believe your birth control failed, Plan B immediately, or a doctor's office 10 days later. That's how soon a pregnancy can be detected. Keep an emergency fund for an abortion, but ask your partner to pony up half. If you find yourself with an oopsie pregnancy more than once, you're likely not using birth control that's effective for you. Talk to your doctor about getting an IUD or implant instead. Know your options. Don't wait until it's too late to start protective measures. Plan B can be ordered off of Amazon. Keep a couple on hand just in case. Always keep condoms stocked in your house and refuse to have sex with a partner who won't use one. Contraception has many methods. If you don't like the pill, try the ring. If the ring isn't for you, get an IUD. If your healthcare provider won't give you any of these, go to Planned Parenthood. Keep pregnancy tests on hand always and take them every week or so. There are newer brands that offer multiple tests for this exact reason. It doesn't have to be the massive clear blue ones. Know your options, stay safe, and use your brain. Don't have unprotected sex if you can help it. And vote. These are elected officials making these laws. Vote them out of office. Join the Satanic Temple. Abortion is a religious ceremony, and anyone trying to stop you from receiving one is violating your religious rights and will be sued into oblivion. Satanists are exempt from abortion laws because it violates their religious rights. TST is currently moving to get abortificants so they can use them in the abortion ritual. Any member of TST who wants to perform the religious abortion ritual will be given the tools to do so, just like Native Americans with peyote. They actually have an example of their illegal action on their website, which is currently making its way through the courts, but TX has made a motion to dismiss. Edit for accuracy. This is awful advice for folks. It doesn't seem like TST is the legal teeth necessary to fight this fight. I defer to any lawyer or legal expert that understands this process better than I, but a surface-level observation tells me the Satanic Temple can't do much to help people in Texas at this point in time, which isn't to say any forthcoming legal action, Judy Doe, from TST won't change anything, but at that point the SC may have resolved the Texas law through other cases coming up the pipeline. The relevant text from TST website. February 2021, TST sues Texas when they refused to grant a TST member performing the religious abortion ritual exemptions from unnecessary and unscientific abortion restrictions. June 2021, Texas moves to dismiss TST's case. Depending on your politics and ideology, move, or continue life as normal, with all levels of decisions between. Seriously though, if I was living in Texas right now, I would be seriously considering leaving. They can't mandate that a 12-year-old girl wears a mask to school, but they can mandate that she carries a baby to full term after being raped or abused? Hell no, I'm out. Depending on your politics and ideology, of course your mileage may vary. It's not reasonable at all, dude. Think about it for a second. Most polls have 45% of Texas women voters voting for Donald Trump. They're complicit in it, and would have no interest in stopping having sex because they're likely pleased with the ban to begin with. So you'd have women on the left denying sex from their partners, the majority of which are also likely on the left. Sure, There's probably a few couples where the woman is on the left and the male is on the right, but in an increasingly polarized society that number is dropping rapidly every year. So, with this idea, you'll be doing next to nothing to impact the people who enacted this BS, conservative men and women in Texas. This is so weird to me that people are taking this idea seriously. This idea is all about getting people on the picket lines. Withholding sex will get a lot more people on those lines, writing to politicians, raising funds for court challenges. Just because you voted for Biden doesn't necessarily make you an ally on this thing. People actually need to do something. As for the women who voted for Trump, some of them probably disagree with this law, not all, but maybe enough that Republicans start to get nervous about their prospects in the next elections. Lastly, there are a lot of young and single people out there for whom politics isn't a major concern right now. They are going to bars, they are on dating apps, etc. Take away the prospect of ever getting laid and they will absolutely sit up and pay attention. I have posted this before. The women in Texas should organize to get a law passed that upon a positive pregnancy test the father is named and identified through genetic testing and immediately ordered to pay prenatal care, hospital costs for the birth, and 18 years of child support. Even the religious right women should support this. Make the men pay and this law will get overturned. The religious right needs to be called out on wanting to punish women for having sex but give a man a free pass. Since this is not serious tagged, I will give some very bad answers. 1. Report every car leaving Texas until Texas is broke. 2. Carry either medical-grade snippers, a gun, a taser, or syringes of castrating chemicals. Then do the snips on any aggressor. 3. Spam the email of every government official until they give in. Actually, 3 isn't that stupid. If I lived in Texas, this law would be affecting me in the worst way. IDK if this has been mentioned yet, but aidaccess.org can provide you with the abortion pill online with an online consult. It's a legit and legal site, but IDK how it would work with the crazy abortion restrictions in Texas and other states. I've used it recently and would again if needed. I have used another site in the past that prob wasn't legit, but the pills I got worked. There are many sites that will mail you the pills when you are under 10 to 12 weeks pregnant. When a woman is in the situation of having an unwanted pregnancy, there isn't much they won't do to not be pregnant anymore. Hopefully, surrounding states have less restrictions and women can just go there instead. Depends how young we are talking. If we are talking about high school age or younger, focus all your energy on school and do everything you can to make it possible to go to a college out of state, preferably a state you'd like to live in. Many college students end up living near their college town because of work opportunities that present themselves in the time you are there. That is an easy way to set yourself up to live in a different state as an adult. Harder to move as an adult when your life is already set in an area. If you are already an adult paying bills, I'd focus all your energy on saving as much money as you can so you can move to a different state. Whatever state that is will be up to you, but definitely don't live in Texas. IDK if you are paying attention to the housing market and homeless situation, but everything Texas complains about with the US is literally overtaking their cities. This is about getting young Democrat voters to move out of Texas. Texas has been attracting young, educated, Democratic voters to work in their growing tech industries. The minute that Democrat Texas voters outnumber the R's and flip Texas, as happened to California, that's it for the GOP forever. They'll lose the state, they'll never make up enough seats every again, and then the Electoral College is finished. The difference is a few thousand votes. Slow down a few couples that might be looking to move to Texas, speed up a few couples thinking about moving away, and the GOP keeps their terrorist grasp on the US. My advice is to fight. This isn't constitutional. It's a crime. It subjugates basic human rights. You got raped? Too bad. Your punishment for being sexually assaulted is to pay for the consequences of the actions of the perpetrator and give birth to his unwanted and psychically scarring child. This is insanity. Condom broke and your pill didn't work. Well, fuck you. You shouldn't have enjoyed something that Jesus will never forgive you for, and you better be prepared to be a mother. Also, it's your fault for being born with reproductive organs, because that's a choice. Also, you better not even think about helping someone that finds themselves in a situation where doctors have told them that carrying the child to term, even if the child is wanted, will very likely result in death for the fetus and also for yourself. Because you sure as fuck don't get to choose to stay alive. These fucking evil pieces of snake shit have made it actionable and litigious to help people. They've literally made it a crime to give people water while they stand in line to vote. They've passed laws to hinder people's ability to even get in a line to vote. I say fight. This isn't anything but actual and pure fucking evil. As a woman who grew up in Texas, get an IUD or the implant. If you prefer the pills, get the pills. Make sure to buy condoms for yourself. Doubling up protection is even safer. If your partner is willing to get a vasectomy, be there for them, but it is bad to force anyone into a choice regarding their body. Planned Parenthood was very kind to me and my friends, and I've never seen people outside the clinic hounding women for walking inside. If you're angry, vote. Encourage your friends and family to vote too. If you wish to protest, then utilize your rights. Stay safe out there. You're not alone even if you live in Texas. Humphreys Maggie said. Get bulk pregnancy tests and a pack of Plan B. Test regularly, maybe every 2-4 weeks even if you have your period. It's more important than ever to figure out what form of birth control works best for you. Men who want to be child-free need to do their part and get their sperm counts checked and get vasectomies. I'm not in Texas but another red state that will probably follow suit, and these are all things my partner and I were implementing to protect our reproductive rights. 100 tests and 6 Plan B doses was $50 minus $60. Drastic and blunt? Leave? Fast? If that's not the option, I can't say much without sounding like I'm a horrible person. Practicing safe sex is a must, but also you have to avoid getting raped because the law doesn't have that provision. Maybe stay away from getting tipsy when someone might take advantage of a drunken gal? IDK. Again, I'm not qualified enough for this because I'm going to sound like an asshole. Get online and get organized. There are groups who can help get you out of state if you need an abortion. Educate yourself about these groups and funds now in case you need them in a hurry. If you think there's even a slim chance you could be pregnant and may consider an abortion, don't go to a doctor unless you're in pain. If a doctor runs a pregnancy test on you and learns you're pregnant, that information could later be used to hurt you. Side note, do be cautious of ectopic pregnancies. If it's possible you're pregnant and you're experiencing pain in your side or stomach, see a doctor. Be brave. You are part of a global community of women. Women have flown abortion pills on drones into countries where they're illegal. Women have helped other women onto planes and ferries to access abortions in other countries. This is a temporary blip. You will fight this and you will survive this. My best advice for young women in Texas. You have 6 weeks give or take a day, or approximately 42, plus comma, days give or take of being pregnant before you gotta ride out to New Mexico for an abortion. The average cycle is 28 days. When you notice you have missed your period, you might want to buy a pregnancy test or two. This gives you some leeway with 2 weeks to get your abortion. Is it foolproof or perfect? Nope. But I'm sure it will work for the vast majority of young women in Texas. Monitor your cycles. If something is off, take a test. Then you go get your abortion. Worst case scenario, you're going to New Mexico. The good news is one of my bros took a girl to get an abortion in New Mexico. He told me they split it down the middle and it wasn't even $200 each. It was less than $400 at PP. That's a pretty good deal from a consumer standpoint. Be vigilant, ladies. Good luck. If you're in Texas and are worried, or you know someone who ends up needing assistance, here's some links that can help you find the help and care you need. I really hope I put these in correctly. Abortionfunds.org. This source can help you find financial and logistical support. tfund.org. This link connects you to resources that can provide emotional and financial support. fundtexaschoice.org. This link can help you find travel assistance to those in the state of Texas. This includes if your appointment is in the state or out of state. They can also help you pay for your abortion. Planned Parenthood.org. This link can help you find abortion clinics near you. prochoice.org. This link also helps with locating clinics. Honestly, I feel so incredibly backstabbed by Texas and its insane abortion laws. Why are men still controlling what a woman can do with her body? It is nonsense, like we are repeating history all over again but in different instances. For the women in Texas, I feel your pain. I sympathize with you. If you live in Texas and cannot access a safe abortion clinic, please, contact me. I live in California and will be more than welcome to help find housing while you travel here to get an out-of-state abortion. Nobody should ever be at the point where they don't have any rights within their own personal bodies. I think you could abuse the ever-loving shit out of this new law, to the point where you tie up courts until they cannot function. Make it bad, make it ugly, make it personal, and make it hurt those that support the law. Accuse every verifiably conservative and or pro-life woman you know, and a broad array of Malay accomplices in their circle, of performing abortions. Did Judy from Sales, who always pushes Jesus on you and bemoans the poor innocent babies lost to abortion, go on a vacation out of state recently? Has her weight fluctuated at all? Accuse that bitch and her husband of fetus dumping over state lines. If poor women are going to hurt, then goddammit everyone is going to hurt. Abstinence-only family planning is not practical and abstinence-only education does not work. Sex is healthy and natural between consenting adults. Abortion rates go down when proper sex education is taught. Learn about your body and about the various ways to protect against unwanted pregnancies. Pulling out and the rhythm method are also highly prone to failure. Finally, not every condom is the same. It might take some exploration with your partner to find a condom, if this is your choice of contraception method, that you both prefer. Try a variety of brands until you find what you like. Don't be frustrated if the first time you use a condom things don't go great. I have personally had good results with Durex and Sustain brands. Get an IUD. I have one and it's great. I know it's not for everyone, but it works wonders. I only notice it when I'm on my period. It makes my period more painful and heavier than before I had it put in, but it's worth it. It'll keep inside you for 10 years. I would also recommend getting an app that tracks your period and tells you when you're ovulating like natural cycles. Use this as a second measure to make doubly sure you don't have sex whilst the most fertile part of your cycle. Moreover, this is for men. Strap up. Wear a condom. Women can't be sole responsible for family planning. Lastly, for the love of God, don't have sex with randoms. If you get pregnant, you're stuck with them for the next 18 years. Good luck and Godspeed, ladies.